Hello and welcome to another vlogmas video. Today I thought I'd take you through what I've made of my 2024 reading journal so far. I've had a variety of reading journals throughout the years that started with literally just a notebook that I would write the title, the date I finished the book, what star rating I gave it, and then a page of review. Then I got the book talk journal, which I have made a couple of TikToks about and spoken about before. It was an alright format but didn't quite work for what I wanted. So this year I've taken this beautiful notebook that I got from one of my Illumicrate boxes, and I've taken what I've learned from bullet journaling and just designed my own journal. So I've included the bits that make the most sense for me, I've not included the bits that I'm not particularly interested in, and I've got this. It took me a few evenings, spending a couple of hours each evening just putting YouTube on in the background and crafting this journal, doing a little bit of planning, and I thought I'd show you what I've got. I got this notebook from one of my Illumicrate boxes. It's a dotted journal, which I find the most useful for bullet journaling and designing your own journal. How many times can I say journal in one video? Starting with, this is such a silly thing, but I saw someone talking about how they stuck in some craft paper to almost make it look like the notebook had end pages. Now, I don't think it's very neat. I tried to put this tape down the middle to cover up the spine, and it doesn't look great. But this is some old wrapping paper, and I really like it. It's really pretty, and even though it doesn't look particularly neat, I'm really happy with it. Then we get on to the first page. This is literally just like a scrapbook. I tried using some stamps around the edge. I used a lot of stickers. When I journal, it's definitely not the prettiest thing in the world. There are people that can do pretty calligraphy and they know how to do layouts much better than I do, but honestly I think as long as you're sticking within a vague kind of colour scheme and you've got pretty stickers, things can go okay. So I've got some craft paper in the background, some old tissue paper down here, and then I just stuck with the kind of purple and green theme for this page. I did not stick with a consistent theme throughout every page. So here we have a key for my rating system and then my reading goals for the year. I've got a few more goals to add, but I thought I'd get started on that. Over here I've got some washi tape, and these I think are meant to be like strips of paper that you fold around an invite or something, but I just like the pattern and I thought they'd be good for crafting. Again, I've stuck with a colour scheme on this page that's kind of mostly green with bits of yellow, and then I've got a colour assigned to each star rating that will remain consistent throughout the journal. I've stuck with the same colour scheme on this page for the reading goals. I love this stamp. I think I got it in like a sale at Hobbycraft or something, but I really like it. And yeah, I've just got some leafy stickers. I love foliage and leaves and things. There's lots of that repeating motif, and let's pretend it's intentional. And then I used these letter stamps that I picked up from Flying Tiger literally probably 5 years ago while I was at uni, and I use them all the time because my handwriting, as detailed here, isn't particularly aesthetic, but this looks way better than this, so there'll be more of that throughout the journal. On the next page we have my yearly stats that I will fill in as I go along. Obviously I've got the breakdown of the months here, and then I've got number of books, pages, minutes, physical, ebooks, audio and library. I don't use my library that much at the moment, but I definitely want to change that this year, especially with trying to buy less books, as I'm always trying to buy less books. I think I want to try and use my library for new releases more. And then I've got TBR read, so how many books from my TBR backlog that I've got through that month, how many new buys I've bought, because although I'm going to try not to, it's inevitable and I know I'm going to do it. Then my total TBR, so at the moment it's on about 360, so here I'll be able to keep a running tally of how that changes through the year, and then TBR difference, so I can say how much it's gone up or gone down, and again see that throughout the year, because sometimes seeing how much it's gone up is enough of an incentive for me to not go book shopping for a little while. And then over here we've just got a few little details. I've got a little box up here where I want to write my end of 2023 TBR total, so how many unread books I have in my collection at the start of 2024. Over here I've got some of my past reading goals. So in 2020 my reading goal for the year was 12 and I managed to read 38 books. And then there's a gap down here for my total for 2023, which as I film this is 76 books. Which is well beyond my goal of 42. On this page, I've already picked the 24 books I want to read in 2024, and then I got these numbered stickers. They're meant to be like for advent calendars or something. I got them in the Christmas section of Hobbycraft, but for this year they've worked out perfectly. And I also, this is something new I haven't done before, is I printed the covers of the books I want to read on sticker paper, so I could then cut them out and stick them in without having to faff about with glue. And although cutting them out was a bit fiddly, I'm really pleased with how this looks in the end. I'm really excited about reading these books as well. It's a good mix of books that I bought new in 2023 and books that have been on my backlog for a long time. So I'm looking forward to hopefully getting through a good chunk of these next year. And here we have my alphabet challenge. Again, making the most of those stamps. The alphabet challenge is not something that I actively try to do, but it's nice to see how much I can organically read throughout the alphabet without trying, which sounds really silly, but I really enjoyed doing it this year and I think it looks nice on this page. And we have a little bookish sticker down here. On the next page, this is my bookshelf where I will draw little spines where I can keep track of the books that I've read. I really like how this has looked in my journals for the last couple of years, and I'm looking forward to doing it again. I'm going to be colouring in the spines with the colours used in the rating system, and then I've added a few stickers. I tried to make them look like they're like ornaments on the shelf, but I don't think it's done very well, but you know, it looks fine. I'm happy with it. On the next page we have my reading goal. My reading goal for next year is going to be 52 books, which I think is achievable because, like I said, my goal for this year was 42 and I've currently read 76, but I'm not going to pretend that everything could go wrong next year. So 52 is one a week, and I think that's a good goal for me. So I just drew out all these little squares, and again I'll colour them in with the colour that's associated with the rating I gave each book. And then I have a genre tracker, so I can put, again using the same colour scheme from the rating system, I can put a little mark for what genre I'm reading, and then I had a bit of extra space at the bottom. I've decided to do a tracker of what age ranges I'm reading, because a lot of people will class like YA as a genre, but personally I wouldn't, because I don't think that the target market for a book should be included in its genre. This wasn't because I particularly wanted to track it, it was because I had a little bit of space at the bottom of the page, but I think it will be interesting to look back on at the end of the year. On the next page we have my book box tracker. I ran out of room to put the ER and tracker, so it just says book box track, but over here I've got a little key of the subscription boxes that I have, which is Illumicrate and Afterlight, and then I think it would be nice to just have a little tally, not a tally, have a spread for every book I've received from a subscription box this year. I might also include what ratings I give the books, whether I read them straight away, things like that. And then there's room, if I get any more subscription boxes, I can include them on here as well. Next page, this isn't something I've seen anyone else do before, but I've had a list on my phone for a while of random bookshops that I've found on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, or I've had recommendations from friends of bookshops I'd like to visit. So I thought I would print out this map of the UK and put little marks for bookshops and places I'd like to visit, like Hay on Wye. So Hay on Wye is a book town in Wales. I don't know if book town is a thing, but it's described as the book town. It's got like 25 independent bookshops or something. So yeah, these are all places I'd like to visit, and then I have an around the world section over here for a couple of international shops I'd like to visit at some point. This isn't something that I intend to achieve this year, it's mostly just a spread that I thought would look nice, and then if I do visit any of these books I can highlight them. Yeah, this one's a less functional page and more because I thought it would look pretty, and I think it does, so winning. On the next page we have my book buying tracker and my wish list. By limiting myself to one page, I'm hoping that will incentivize me to really focus on reading what I've already got, shopping my shelves instead of shopping in Waterstones. I think having a wish list space will be a good way for me to kind of scratch the itch of wanting something new and being able to write that down without actually buying it. So I've made a note of books that I'm interested in, but I know that I've got it written down that I can come back to later. Whether this works or not is a different question entirely, but we'll see. I'm really pleased with the green theme on this one. I just love all these floral stickers and this book sticker. I just think they look really cute. Really pleased with them. Then we have the general reading log, where I will write down every book I finish. Kind of similar to the bookshelf one, but just in a more list-based format. Got enough room for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 books a month if I had one book per line. Relatively simple and quite self-explanatory. I kind of hate that I didn't have enough letter stickers from the same pack to do all of the months, but I think they look quite cute either way, a little bit mismatched. Then we have the book of the year bracket, where I will be printing more stickers. So throughout all of these I will pick my favourite book from each month, and then every couple of months I will narrow it down to pick a favourite, to then narrow it down to the top 3 throughout the year. And then these little purple patches is where I'm hoping to either make or find some like medal stickers that can say like 1st, 2nd and 3rd, and then I can stick them in at the end of the year when I've decided how I'm ranking my favourite books of the year. And I think the stamps look really effective on the title of this one as well. Then we have my 5-star reads. I really love the colour scheme for this one. I'm really pleased with this layout. I think it's really easy to get caught up in making everything look neat and pretty, so this kind of messy outline I think is a good way to combat that, and I also think it looks really good. So when I read a 5-star book I will print out a little picture again, and then I can stick the cover in here, and hopefully by the end of the year I'll have a nice full spread of all the 5-star reads I've enjoyed. Then we have my 2024 releases calendar. I've got, you know, a little square for each month, a few books that I've already pre-ordered. So most of this spread is 2024 releases, but I did also want to put in a section for 2025 releases, because by the second half of 2024 I have no doubt that there will be announcements for 2025, so it would be nice to have somewhere to write them down. And also I'm really pleased with how this looks in the end. I tried to make it look like a kind of notebook paper that I'd ripped at the bottom, but I drew all of these lines myself and I think it came out really well, so I'm really pleased with it. And then we get into the monthly spreads. So I've done a little title page over here, literally just stuck in a piece of craft paper, put the month on. These brown pieces of paper they're like those foldable name places that you have at like weddings and things. So these are left over from our wedding, and I've been using them in crafting for over a year, considering we got married over a year ago. This is where I'll include my TBR for the month once I've decided what I'm going to read. I'm not sure whether I'm going to do this using more stickers or a list format, but I'm sure I'll post it somewhere once I figure it out. And then I'm going to put all of my book reviews. I've not fully mapped this out yet because some of the categories depend on what book I'm reading, but here's the kind of things I'm hoping to include. So title, series and number, for example. If I'm reading a series, I'll include what series it's part of, but if the first book I read in 2024 isn't part of a series, I don't need that information. So that's what I mean by tailoring each spread to what the book is actually about. Some other ideas of things that I can include in that. And then, do I have anything else? And then the only other thing is that I've got another piece of the same craft paper that I used on the title page that I'd like to use on the end page, some leftover stickers that kind of fit the colour scheme, and then on the monthly wrap-up page I want to track how many books I read, pages, the format, whether it be physical, ebook, audio or library, potentially genres and which book was my favourite, how many of the books I read I'd already owned, how many new buys I bought, what I read as pictures. I've just written what I read as pictures / stickers, so when I list the books I read I want to do it in stickers rather than in a list. That's just a little note to self. The last thing I want to include is a rating distribution, so how many of each star rating I gave. Maybe I'll play around with drawing a pie chart, who knows. So that's everything I've drawn so far. Hello, I do have a face. I need to keep this relatively quick because my battery light's already flashing. But the other thing I want to include in this journal that I haven't drawn yet is I want to do at the back of the book a series tracker and then a movie adaptations tracker. Mostly because, well, there's two reasons I want to do it at the back. One, because especially with the series tracker, it's something that there's no finite amount. I could buy more series throughout the year. I could start reading more series, so I wanted to have like an infinite space. So if I work from the back forwards, I'm not necessarily going to be like, oh, I've got another spread on the next page, so I can't do any more of that. So it gives me more room to grow. But the other reason I'm doing them at the back is because I didn't think about it while I was doing the front. So it's kind of for the former reason, in that I'm going to have loads of room to, I'm not going to feel limited by how many series I can start or whatever, but it's also because I kind of forgot. I really enjoy making journal related content. Making this journal is something that was incredibly therapeutic for me, and I really enjoyed it as a kind of crafting experience as much as a reading tool. So if you like this kind of content and would like to see more of it, please do let me know, because I really enjoy making it. But other than that, I've already been talking for far too long. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow for another vlogmas. Bye!